I'm Veronica Pedrosa in Kuala Lumpur with the main stories on Al Jazeera. An Indonesian military plane carrying more than 100 people has crashed in East Java. An Air Force spokesman says 78 people are dead, but that toll is expected to rise. The C-130 Hercules transport aircraft was on a training mission when it came down in Gaplak district. Our correspondent Step Varson is in the Indonesian capital with the latest.
What we know is that a military source has said earlier that 10 people have survived. We know that there were 112 people on that plane, so it could be that around 100 people would not have survived this inferno, because the whole plane was in flames, and it's a miracle at all that these 10 people would have survived this crash. At the moment, there's a press conference going on at the Ministry of Defense, so we hope to find out more about the victims, but also about the cause of this crash. We only know that these Hercules planes, there is a lot of concern about the budget for the maintenance. Only last week in Papua, there was one Hercules plane that lost a wheel during a landing. We also had a crash of a military plane only in April, just a few months ago, killing 24 people. So there's a lot of concern about the condition of this military planes.
Pakistan's military says 2 of its soldiers have been killed in the latest clashes with Taliban fighters in the town of Matta in the Swat Valley. The government says its offensive against the Taliban, launched earlier this month, is making good progress. But the UN estimates that the recent fightings forced nearly 1.5 million people to seek shelter in refugee camps. Japan's economy is shrinking at its fastest pace since records began in 1955. The government's announced GDP fell at an annual rate of 15.2% in the first quarter of 2009. The plunge is mostly due to the drop in exports and production. And Sri Lanka is to celebrate a national holiday on Wednesday to mark the end of the Tamil Tigers as a military force and what the president calls the liberation of the country. The United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has called for national reconciliation in Sri Lanka and says he'll visit the country this week. More on our website, aljazeera.net/English.